And we're back. Thank you guys for waiting around for us to come back up. For whatever reason, we lost signal. So that's okay, though. That happens. That's another thing with being able to ride the wave and be okay with whatever comes, my way. I'm not saying that I don't get upset. I don't get a little stressed out. And I don't get little angry hawk, thought, little whatever Tony calls me, tiny hawk. So but that's part of the journey that I'm on right now is being able to go, okay, well, if something doesn't work out the way that it's meant to work out, then okay, what is the other reasoning behind why it's not working out? Or okay, I guess I just have to be okay with that and continue to move through because no matter what, I'm still continuing to try to work to be better and to have a great quality of life. So instead of freaking out like I have in the past, I guess that's a good subject to go on now because in the past, before I had surgery, I struggled a lot and I struggled afterward. It's not just before. I struggled afterward with having a lot of different issues with going, oh no, what do I do now? We talked about the sky is falling and all of this other stuff. And Chicken Little, the sky is falling. And I felt that way. And how many of you out there have felt that way before? That one little tiny thing can come up that seems like it's huge. And I'm not saying that that's not an important thing to you. I'm not saying that any of the stuff that's happened to me hasn't been important. But because I'm on a different wavelength now, I guess you can call it, I'm learning how to be like, okay, what can I control about this right now? What can I do to change this right now? Is there anything that I can do to change this? Is everything going to be okay? Are you okay? What is it that you need to do right now to be okay instead of freaking out and struggling even more? Because I've come to find that when stuff came up and I was getting upset and I was getting worked up, you know what? I caused more problems throughout my house. I'd be trying to look for something and I'm all upset and I'm frustrated and why is this happening? And then I'm going through trying to figure out what I'm going to do to because that's not working and I'd mess up other things. I'd drop things, I'd break things. I couldn't find things because I was so upset and so frustrated that where's it at even though it could have been right in front of my face. I struggled with that. And even now that I've come to find that it's not funny to lay out your stuff. It's not like, oh, I'm back in high school and I'm doing this. No, it's freaking helpful. Laying out my stuff before work, packing my lunch before work. Like, those were good quality things that we had to do as kids, but we were very frustrated with. Like, what do I have to do this? But honestly, now that I'm adult, I'm thankful that we did that back then. And it's not funny, it was smart. It's smart, especially for somebody like me who struggles with getting going in the morning sometimes, even though I wake up really, really early. But to have everything set out, ready to go, ready, just ready to walk out the door is so much easier and a better day for me. I have a way better day when I'm more prepared like that because let's be honest, I am somebody that can be prepared and I know I have to be somewhere at a certain time and I've got 5 minutes and I'm still just kind of just in my zone not worrying and giving a care about anything. And I'm sitting there and I look at my watch and I go, uh-oh, I got 5 minutes before I have to leave. And then I'm rushing around and I'm trying to find the other shoe. I can't find the coat that I wanted to wear. And why does the shirt have a stain on it all of a sudden? And life, everything's caving in, but it's really not that bad. But if you set up everything and you're ready to go and you are, on point with that kind of stuff the night before, it's a lot more helpful. And I learned that out actually even more so by doing craft fairs and doing farmers markets and being prepared that way. Before, it didn't matter how much I was prepared. I never was prepared enough. And now that I've got a system down and I do have help, I don't go without having help, and I can't, but I can. I did go up and I set up the stuff for Ellington Craft Fair because I actually wanted to see if I could do it. So I didn't actually tell anybody that I was going up there to do it. I just went because I wanted to see how chill I was. And I had an hour to set everything up. I didn't get everything set up. I had like maybe 5 items, 6 items that had to be set up, but I was able to get up there at 6 o'clock in the morning. They were open. So I went up and I calmly just set everything else up. I didn't freak out. I didn't go, oh, I'm supposed to have this done like right now. No, I went, okay, I got everything that I wanted to get done now. I have 5 more things that were they were easy stuff. It wasn't horrible, but it was 7 o'clock and I had to go. And so did the lady that was waiting on me. but it wasn't the end of the world. It was okay. It was really okay. I went, oh, all right. So I called it a night, said goodnight to her. I got back up early enough in the morning knowing that I had almost everything done. It was fantastic. I had my pile of stuff to go, my clothes, everything ready to go, and it was fantastic. I didn't freak out. The other last week, I was running a little bit behind, but not horrible, but enough where I was like, okay, I might be like 2 minutes behind or whatever. I know I'm not saying don't make this a habit, but it did happen. And I'm on my way, and there's this curve where it goes out, and you have people coming around this curve. And it's kind of, I feel like it's a little bit of a dangerous curve. To me, I feel like, and there was an accident actually. Um, and there was the cops and everybody and trying to direct traffic around this curve and everything. And I went, okay, instead of freaking out on the way to work, I didn't rush like a madwoman and try to drive faster. And because I was running behind, I went, I'm supposed to be there when I'm supposed to be there. And you know what was fantastic? I went and I told my boss, hey, I'm sorry that I'm late, but I will try my best the rest of this week to make sure that I am on time. And they said, okay, thank you for letting us know. Oh, okay. So all of this time throughout my life, I've freaked out and I've had little breakdowns and anxiety and stress upon stress upon stress just stacking up. And now I'm just like, I'm going to do the best I possibly can to be a better productive human, yes. And if that means setting out my stuff and packing my lunch before work or getting stuff organized and putting stuff back where it belongs or downsizing and not having so much stuff to have to worry about picking up after myself or cleaning or organizing, then that's what I'm going to do. And you know, the best part about that is I'm talking to you guys about it right here on the show, but I don't have to tell everybody that I'm doing that. That's another thing. Not only do we have things that we have to get in order in our home, but we don't have to organize it out there on the internet either. Like, I don't have to be like, well, this week I took 7 bags to the thrift store and I just want to let you guys know. And I cooked this really healthy broccoli casserole that I just want to let you guys know. So I feel like there's an upkeep there though. Okay, let's talk about that for a minute. The more we post online, we have people liking and not liking or making a happy face or a grumpy face or whatever, but there's more upkeep. We may be downsizing in our homes, but we're not downsizing when it comes to social media. So we have those notifications, bam, 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 coming in. And what do? What's our impulse? I got to take care of that. What if I don't answer this person? Oh my gosh. Or, my phone was down for an entire day. My biggest worry was making sure that if my father had to get a hold of me, I had a phone. Other than that, it was actually not a bad, and not having music. That was a tough one, or audiobooks. I love those at work. That was a bit tough. That was a bit tough. But there's a huge upkeep with all of that stuff too. And as being on podcasts, we do 3 different podcasts right now together. Tony has other podcasts on Don't Make This Weird as well. So there is that part of it, letting our fans like you guys know that we're going to be online, or this is what time we're doing a show. Here's a subject that we're going to talk about. Here's somebody that's going to be joining us on the show. And that's just to let you guys know what we're up to. That's okay. I'm not saying that's a problem. But like I said, the more posts that we do in a day, we have all these people liking and commenting and hoping that we're going to, say something back or like it. There's a huge pressure with that too, isn't there? There's a huge pressure with that, especially for someone like me that tries to be like, oh, I want to answer them back out of respect. But then the overwhelming of all of these notifications. And then now, even on top of that, and this is amazing that I can still keep cool and not throw this thing. It buzzes. It buzzes with email. I got this for a Christmas present. Adam had got it for me. I said, my other one broke. Someone gifted me another Fitbit, which was really cool. And I really enjoyed it. I was able to keep track of my steps and everything else. And on this one, it helps me to keep track of my heart rate, which is great for someone that has only one adrenal gland, because that's something to be monitored for sure. But to keep myself going, and I play a little game with how many steps can I get? Well, there's a whole nother thing with that. We'll talk about that in another show. But I reset my phone and this thing just continually buzzes. So I'll sit there like this for a while, just like over and over and a million times. But for someone that has anxiety, that could be a stressor. That could definitely, all of these things could be a stressor. I've been listening more about not minimalizing, because you can be a minimalist and not completely downsize. But if you think about it, when we have more things in our home, that means more organization. That means more putting stuff back. That's more time out of our lives having to put these things back where they belong. There's all these things. And I'm not saying that it's bad to have things. Some of us are just happy having all of the things that make our little hearts happy within our homes, and that's okay too. I'm not downplaying that or trying to make anybody feel about having extra. I have got a lot of stuff, I've got a lot of stuff that I've inherited throughout the years and things like that, which is okay. But now I'm at that point in my life where I'd rather have experiences than have a wish list for Christmas, or things like that. Like, I'm finally to that point where I'm like, I want to experience some more stuff. I want to get back out there and do those bass fishing tournaments and go see the world and do things like that. I much rather have that than having things. I'm happy with everything that I have had, given to me in my life and all that stuff. I'm not saying that I don't appreciate that, but it's more upkeep. That's more things to try to get in a row. And it's been really cool figuring this out to go, oh, okay, if I set this up, I'm good. I'll be ready to go. And it's liberating. It's amazing to have that feeling. I've worked myself up so many times throughout my life with just minute things that could have been prevented, or I could have been less worried about, instead of getting just crazy over the situations. If I would have just stopped for a minute and went, it's not the end of the world. It will work out one way or another. And it lately that's how it's been. And I can tell you I have felt a lot better with that mindset. And I hope that you guys are able to figure that out too. It's different for everybody. Obviously, I'm 41 and I'm finally just like, okay, I'm 41 and I've gone through all the different things that I've told you guys about on this podcast. And I'm finally just going, oh, light bulb, I get it. Finally. Finally. Does that mean that I'm gonna have just an easy breezy great day like life, or no, there's gonna be things that are gonna come up. Life is life until it's not, right? We're going to experience a multitude of things. We're going to have people in our life that we're absolutely going to love. We're not going to want them to go anywhere. We get along, we do things, and we want them in our lives. We want them in our circle. But there's going to be people that are not going to always be able to be in that circle either. And that's okay. Like, here's another thing I posted not too long ago, another post of things, it was, I'm not always going to have the same people in my life. And my mom tried to tell me that at a young age. I said, Mom, I want all of my friends to be in my life for all my life. And she said, honey, that's not how that works. People are going to come and go in your life, but I don't want to. And I cried. I cried so hard because I didn't understand that. I was very little, not much shorter than I am now. And and I didn't understand that. My poor little heart just kind of didn't understand. I didn't get that. But now as I get older, my poor little heart still hurts. Like, when people go out of my life, it still hurts me. But I also go, okay, they were here for a journey, and I don't count that any less, and I'm not any less thankful that they're not in my life, that we didn't have those experiences. I've had some incredible, amazing times with people in my life, and I don't discredit that at all. If we don't talk every day, if we're not together, we're not friends, whatever, it's okay. It's okay. I hope that you guys, whoever it is, and I hope you guys learn this too, to celebrate the journey and the time that you had with people, but continue to live life and to find what makes your soul happy. Find where you're at and to try to, if you can, organize and do these things. I'm not saying to get out your highlighter and to write out a list of everything that you must do every day, which I did do that for a while until, work happened again and just wasn't able to keep up with a ridiculous list. There was a lot of satisfaction though with those bright colored highlighters, just checking everything off. And that was a very cool thing that I did incorporate, and it helped me. The healthy habits, the great things. What was that book that I have under my table that I haven't read yet because I don't really read books, I listen to them, that you let me borrow? High Performance Habits? Yeah, that's where it's at my house. Okay, I'll get it back to you. I'm gonna need to. Okay, I will give that back to you when you find the audiobook for me. Deal? Okay. No. I know. So I have a list of that stuff too that I'm trying to figure out as well. But the thing is, we're all so different. For us to ever think that we're gonna be completely like with somebody else is just absurd. We're all so different, and we all have so many different journeys in life. And I need a drink really quick. We all have journeys in life, and we all go separate ways, or we come together, or we go separate ways and come back together. Life is incredible like that. And I know sometimes people get really hurt when people leave and they're not able to be constant in your life if they were constant at one point because of whatever changed in their life, whatever happened in their life. I guess I kind of was thinking about that, and I've always there's been a little bit like I've had a little bit of hurt in my heart when some things like that came up, but I understand very well that we all have separate journeys as well, that we have lives, that we have kids, that we have jobs, that we have careers. Like this time of year is a hard time of year. I For December I will be married to my job, and then January I will be divorced. So I mean that's kind of how I look at it is December is a very busy time, and I'm okay with that. I am not complaining about that. But the people that are in my life, because it's been 7 years that I've been doing this, are like, okay, we'll talk to you in January or whenever you can get back. But I used to have a bit of anxiety about that. When someone would message me, I'd be like, oh, there's that upkeep that I have to get a hold of them, or I have to do this, and I can't always. But now they're understanding, or I will give a quick message or a picture of me at work really quick on my lunch break or whatever, and be like working, and they get that. So I'm trying to I guess what I want to talk with you guys about is learning how to not be so overwhelmed if you can't answer people back, if you don't talk to somebody every single day, even if you had for a while, or if you're not able to connect and meet up, try not to be too hard on yourself, because life is life, and it is a crazy ride. It is a crazy ride. We have so many different compartments of stuff every day, and we can't unpack everything at once. It's not easy to unpack everything at once, and it never should be unpacked at once, because if you can do that, you're a mad person. But there's compartments for a reason, and there's different growths in everybody for a reason, because let's face it, we all came from different homes. We were all raised differently. It's not, even if we did come from the same home, one could have been raised differently than the other one. I mean, it's just there's so many different statistics. There's so many different things. There's so many things that we face on a daily basis. And for us to think that we know what somebody else is going through, sometimes, yes, we may be able to connect on that to understand, oh, I've been through that, but it's not the same. None of it's going to be the same. Somebody else that I know that has a parent going through cancer or whatnot, they're not seeing it the same way or going through the same thing that I did, because guess what? There's a million different kinds of cancers as well. So you can relate, you can be there for people, but also you have to understand that sometimes people just need to have time for themselves, to be there for themselves. And that's not selfish. Can we talk about that too? It's not selfish to take care of yourself and to do what you need to do. Again, those of you that I've had in my life and have been there for me throughout different times, I do appreciate that. I consider you still somebody that I hold very dear in my heart. I do appreciate the times in the life, and whatever it was, whenever we connected, whatever path. Even if you did something that wasn't nice to me, I still thank you for that, because guess what? I grew from it. But again, that's a different stage in life where I'm at, where somebody else might not be right now. I look at, going through divorce and going through those different things as a growing, as I grew. At that time when it happened, hell no. I was hurt. I was angry. I was upset. My ego was on fire and was like, how could someone be like this? How could this happen? But now I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I wish you the best in your life. And I hope that you look back and think of the time that we had together as a good time, when it was a good time. But I hope that we both equally grow, because that's what this whole thing, why it happens the way it happens sometimes is to just grow. And sometimes it's just to find ourselves again. I went through that and I found myself. I wasn't completely grown because then when I went through what I went through, then finally I woke up and I started to grow up. But I found myself then. But another thing I want to talk about too is we're continually finding ourselves every day. And I love it when somebody says, "But you're not the same that you used to be." Yeah, that was 2 days ago, but I'm still okay. Like I'm going. But seriously, I think improving, if it's improving and improvement, yeah. Don't expect somebody to be the exact same person that they were, especially if they're growing and they're healing and they're, getting their stride, they're finding their footing. And those that are still behind, when you have gone through and you're finding your footing, it's okay to tell somebody, "Hey, you'll get there. I support you. You'll get there." And it's also okay to stay out of people's business. There's that too as they're growing and it depends on what kind of friendship or, what you have with that person, I guess I suppose. But we're growing every day. I'm growing every day. I'm changing every day. I'm finding different things that I enjoy and I love and it's okay. That is all right. Because what are we supposed to do in this life? Yes, we have bills that we get to pay. We have houses that we get to live in. We have experiences that we get to experience. We have these things that not other people may like a different weird kind of sandwich or food or music. And that's the fun part, though. Okay. I talk on Don't Make This Weird about there's some shows that Tony tells me that he likes, and I'm like, no, I don't care about them. But do I respect his opinion? Yeah, absolutely. And I want him to come to me and be like, this show is amazing. And even if I don't agree with it, that's the fun banter that we get to have. Get to. I may not like it, but I'm also like not going to be, I'm not talking to you no more about because you like this. I'm thankful that we have those communications though. And I'm coming to find that stride as well to be able to have communications with people. I've had a hard time with communication. I have had a hard time with things that don't make me feel comfortable in conversation. I have had a hard time of just being blunt sometimes because sometimes my heart doesn't know how to not get involved. And that's okay too. I'm learning that as well. But to have a conversation with somebody, like a legit conversation, and not see the same, not have eye to eye, and that's okay too. That's part of also growing to be like, okay, I can see your point of view. I can understand what it is that you're saying. I can appreciate this conversation that we're having. It may not be what I agree with. It may not be what I believe in. It may not be the same thing. But who am I to tell you that you can't be you? That you shouldn't be talking like that. That shouldn't be. I mean, obviously, if it's somebody that is harming themselves, okay. Yes. That's important. Pay attention to that. But if I have a different point of view on religion, or if I have a different point of view on the way that I'm living my life and you're living yours, that's okay too. You can have a different opinion and still be friends. Still have those conversations, still be cordial to people. It's when people start to downplay and make you feel bad about how you feel, make you feel this big, that it gets a little bit tough to have a adult conversation and not see eye to eye and still continue to keep moving forward. And that's okay as well too. You're not always going to see eye to eye. I love those conversations though that I can have with people as I grow and being a better communicator. However, lately, the big thing that I have been facing is learning how to be a better listener. I have this platform to be able to talk to you guys, to be able to have that, to be able to have guests on to talk. And when them guests talk, I'm learning how to be a better listener as well. And that's also equally important as you navigate through life. To be able to listen, to hear, to not just have something to say. And that's okay to have conversation and talk, but it is a different kind of art form to actually listen, to understand what somebody is actually saying, to ask them their point of view on that, or to find out where to research, or just to listen, to not ask, to just hear them, to just sit in that safe space with them and be quiet while they talk. Because it's very empowering when you're able to talk. I like to be able to drive to work in the morning and just think or talk it out. Like sometimes people probably drive by and are like, lady's talking to herself. Okay. But sometimes just talking it out, you find the answers. You get the answers, and that's okay. Like sometimes I don't get a chance to journal for weeks. And that's where I find a lot of my way of finding out, like learning these things and getting it out and spilling it out. But sometimes just to talk it out, like listening to somebody and just listening to them talk about what it is, they find their answer themselves, but they have somebody to listen. They have somebody to be there to listen. And even at this time, there was a thing where I could actually tune in on a conversation. I couldn't talk. There wasn't anything that I could do to interject or to have anything, but I said, "Yeah, sure, I'm here to listen." And that was great. I learned a lot of this person, but I was able to listen. I wasn't able to talk. I wasn't able to interact with them. And it was still a really cool experience. So, learning how to listen is a whole nother thing. And that's a different journey that I'm on right now, is learning how to listen as well as being able to talk with you guys. So, I'm thankful that you guys are here to hang out to listen to me talk. And I'm hoping that I'm reaching different people, and no matter what it is that you're facing or going through, or if you can relate to some of these things that I talk about, I'm thankful that you found this channel. I'm thankful that you're here. I'm thankful that we're able to continue. And December is going to be a tougher month. I am going to have a lot more Sundays that I will be working. So please bear with me again. I will continue to do the motivational Mondays, but it might be a couple days before work where I have to put up on the actual Facebook page that I might not be able to do the show. So I'm going to continue to do the best I can to be here. And I know that you guys understand. I know that this time of year, it's just a crazy time, and it happens, it seems, every year like this. But when I can be here, I will be here for you guys to get on here to talk and to share some of the things that I face, especially going through a crazy time of year like this, to continue to keep my head on straight and to continue to do a good job and to just continue to love myself as well and grow through a time that is so crazy and so busy. But I'm going to go ahead and do some shout outs here because I want to give some love to people and shopping local and doing all that stuff. And I hope no matter where it is that you guys are at, that you're supporting your friends in their business journey and their different things, whether it's they make coffee or they make tea or they make jewelry or trinkets or any kind of stuff. If you guys are able to do some homemade handmade Christmas kind of stuff this year by shopping local or getting a gift certificate to like a massage therapist or something else that's helpful and healthy for somebody in the new year, I encourage you guys to go ahead and try to shop as local as you can. It's something that I'm trying to implement this time of year as well. So I'm going to give some shout outs. First off, I talked about homemade tea, and the best one I can give the shout out to is Buns and Roses Holistics, and they are actually local around here, but they do have an Etsy shop and have some incredibly cute mugs with some positive sayings on it, and I hope that you guys will check that out. But not only that, they do make their own really really yummy tea. I absolutely love the tea that they make. So if you guys get a chance to check them out, you can find them on Facebook. Their information link for their Etsy shop is there as well. Now with the farmer market done and over until next season, it's best to go ahead and get a hold of them on there or to order from their Etsy shop. Not only do they make tea, they also do tarot, and they make candles. They do yoga, Reiki, and Reiki healings as well. You can find them on Facebook under Buns and Roses Holistics, or you can go to www.bunsandrosesholistics.com, or go ahead and shoot over a text at 989-671-7320. They are also on Instagram as well, so you can check them out. Find their really yummy tea flavors that they have. One of the ones I like turns blue. It's really cool. I think it's called Moon Magic. Go check that out and see. They have so many different kinds. She's very knowledgeable in the tea that she makes as well, for different things to help with whether it's calmness or just a general overall detox or health. Get a hold of her there on Buns and Roses. And the next one that I want to give a shout out to, my booth buddy at the Ellington Craft Fair that I just did with Dragonfly Boutique, is Stone Cottage Farm of Mayville. They have amazing goat milk soap, but they do so many different things. They have spiced rum packets. They have soap cozies that you can use to wash instead of having like the poofs or whatever. She actually makes those as well in various colors. They do milk shares and different things in that time of the year, turkeys, all kinds of stuff. They have a really nice farm. They're very great people. At markets, they make bread, all kinds of different stuff. And their first ingredient and everything that they do is love, which is incredible. I really like that a lot. You can check them out on Facebook to follow the amazing farm stories that are hilarious. Sometimes they're heartfelt, but they do have a lot of really funny posts that they do. And I love to jump on and listen to them. They're incredible, incredible at what they do and great people. So go ahead and check them out at www.etsy.com/shop/slash Stone Cottage Farm Soap. You can find them on Facebook as well, a Stone Cottage Farm of Mayville. And you will actually love, dealing with them online and everything. The communication, they're very good at getting their soap and orders done and all that stuff out to you guys. So just giving them some love. I had a great weekend being next to them at the farm, or not the farmer's market. I'm so used to that happening at the Ellington Craft Fair, which I want to give a shout out to Ellington Craft Fair as well. They did an excellent job putting that together. There were 70 vendors there. Everything was safe. Everybody was able to come in and enjoy. Even this guy showed up, and there was so much stuff there. There were so many different things, and it was a really good turnout. So thank you guys for hosting that, having me there as well. I really enjoy being able to be a part of that. And I was able to sell a lot of Christmas spiders. People were really, really interested in those, which is really cool. Very cool. So I appreciate that. I love that people would stop up and check out my stuff and call it art. Like, that's huge for me. I feel very, very thankful and blessed to be able to do that as well. So on the craft note, I'm going to give a shout out to Katie Skelton, Creative Crafts by Kate, but you can find her on Facebook as under It's Just a Thing, Cancer Sucks, which it does. We talk about that a lot on here. She does custom sewing, machine embroidery, and vinyl work. She does an excellent job. So if you guys are wanting to get some quick orders in, if you're able to, if she's not already bombarded for Christmas, she does do custom orders. It might be a little bit later, but that's okay too. Just give them a little tag that says your gift is on the way. Check out that though for all of your needs for shopping local. And I also mentioned giving a certificate for massage or something like that, or some kind of healthful thing. And Emily Steely does, she's a massage therapist, and you're able to get a hold of her. I don't know if she does certificates or whatnot, but you can get in touch with her because she does therapeutic massage, relaxation massage, trigger point therapy, cranial sacral, light healing, touch, reflexology, and joint mobility. And you can get a hold of her. She does house calls, and you can call her at 989-592-6251. That's Emily Steely. She for massage therapy. Also, last but not least, I'm going to give one more shout out to Dr. Katie, and also Dr. Katie Grummel and Dr. Shelson at Shelson's Medical. Shelson's Natural Holistics. This is where I start to get a little bit tired and a little bit tongue tied, guys. And that's part of what I face on a daily, too. So thank you for bearing with me as I continue to talk to you guys and butcher some of the words. But you can get a hold of them at 1-855-672-2600, or you can contact them at drshelson.com or www.drshelson.com. They do all kinds of amazing holistic things at their office. They do everything from foot detoxes to, man, they just do all kinds of really amazing things. So if you are looking to do some holistic healing or to find a doctor that does holistics, you can get a hold of them. They treat people all over the world. So there are my shout outs for you guys. Like I said, my steam is just kind of getting a little bit low. And that is something that I do face with having just the one adrenal gland. That is something that I face, but it's a thing that I go through, and I'm okay with it. And I'm thankful that I have this platform to dive more into it and to look more into it. I also have started doing a blog as well. So I'm going to talk a little bit more and find more information out on that so that I can share that with you, along with all of the different adventures that I have and the different things that we continue to do here with our podcasts and at Strange Friends Media. It's incredible. We do lots of different venues and tours and all kinds of stuff. So on that note, I also wanted to do another little thing really quick. So some of you know that I do podcasts with Tony on Don't Make This Weird. I also am a part of a podcast called Initiative Impossible, where I get to play a character. We do D&D. Tony DMs, and it's a fun time. It's a nice escape from the day to day and all of the crazy stuff, the glitter, and Christmas coming around the corner and all that stuff. It's been a really cool adventure. Tony does the stories and different things on that. It's been a lot of fun. But I also get to do Don't Make This Weird. And last week we had an incredible time on the show. We had a lot of fun. I was being a goofball. I had a lot of energy. I was having a lot of fun. We were both really having fun, and we had a dear friend on with us, and it was just a riot. We had so much fun. But I wanted to say I'm different on Don't Make This Weird. I'm more kind of put together and pulled together here on Survivor Girl, but I'm a lot different on Don't Make This Weird. It doesn't mean that I'm a different person. It's actually I'm both people, but there's a time and place, and I've talked about this before on podcasts. I am completely different on each podcast, but I'm still me, and that's what I want you guys to know. There's people in my life that will go, "Whoa, she swears a lot," and Don't Make This Weird. Yeah, let's be honest, I do. Um, but it doesn't mean that I'm any less of a person and I don't take this podcast serious. It doesn't mean that I don't keep this platform open for people to have this platform to talk about the more serious things in life. You have to have a balance in life where you're able to have these serious times, to talk raw, to talk real, and to also have times where you can be silly and you can enjoy life that you have left. The time that you're here to be able to go, okay, I can have fun and I can do this. And if that means lots of crude jokes and different things, then okay. That might not look the same for you guys, but for me, Thursdays are my laugh time. Thursdays are my time to have fun, to let off steam, and to be able to enjoy what we talk about on that podcast. Just as Tuesdays are my time to have fun and to bring a character to life right before you guys' eyes, along with the rest of the players that we have on Initiative Impossible. Shout out to all those different things. And just like with Tony on Don't Make This Weird, I'd say that you're not the same throughout the rest of your podcast, like Chill Stream and Guitar Fridays, but kinda, yeah, you are. But the thing is there's a time and a place for me. And when it comes to being professional and trying to do my very best for you guys on this podcast, that's what I want to be able to do on this platform. So I hope that you're able to check it out and see the different sides of me. And I hope that my family doesn't disown me and the people that think that I'm ultra serious all the time for either one. But I'm thankful to have these opportunities because I never once in a million years, way back when, thought that I would be able to be here with you guys talking about serious things and also hoping to shed some positive light on you guys. So, with that being said, just remember, just because you think somebody is a certain way or they surprise you by being something else doesn't mean that they're not a good person. It doesn't mean that they don't take things seriously. And it doesn't mean that they don't know how to have fun when they are being serious. So just remember, if you see different sides of me, just like I changed my hair, just like I changed my hats, just like I changed my clothes, I have fun. And that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to find my authentic self, but I'm also here for this podcast to be serious and have these conversations with you guys. So thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. I know it's been a minute since I've been here, so thank you for that patience. Thank you for joining in and tuning in and sharing and liking and subscribing. Please check out Strange Friends Media as well. You can find all of the amazing shows that we have going on for you guys. There's something for everybody. And don't forget to check out solidstateradio.net as well. We're re-aired over there. We appreciate Sean and Adam over at the Lyric Mall. Thank you guys. And they have a ton of podcasts over there as well that you can check out along with music. Lots of great music over there. So thanks guys for the support. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for being you. And remember, with that being said, life is best lived.